Live streaming. Is there anything more American than live streaming? That primal desire to talk shit into the void, avoid questions about whether you're a top or a bottom. Okay, I'm done doing the voice. Hi, guys. Hi, it is me. Thanks for being here. Good to see you all. I'm wearing my weird Charles cowboy-ish hat. I have kombucha and hummus and chips, so that means that we are definitely live streaming. It's good to see you all. If you haven't yet, I published a video yesterday about anti-politics and Chomsky and libertarianism. Basically, libertarianism explained, or my love letter to Noam Chomsky that he will never see. But I hope you enjoyed it. It is the longest video I've ever made, and it's twice as long as the longest vodka video I ever made, so that is big. After I published it yesterday, I slept for 5 hours straight and like did not move from my bed because I was so wiped and exhausted. It definitely felt like giving birth to a big baby. But after a little bit over a day and a half, it's at 50K views, which is wild for a channel of this size. We're at 72K followers or subscribers, which is also wild. I've said this before, but I thought this year would be like I would just call it a building year. Like, I'm going to see if this YouTube thing works on my own. But my very secret goal would be like, wouldn't it be insane if I got 100K by the end of the year? And right now we're like kind of on track to hit 100K. Maybe things keep going well. Who knows what will happen, but I'm super happy with how things are going. So thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. I also want to say, I've said it before, but thank you to those of you who back me on Patreon. I got to spend 6 weeks making this video and making it weird and in-depth and trying out things that were like really out of my comfort zone. And it was only because I have backers who are like, do you and make your own shit. And I don't think if I ever pitched a 24-minute spaghetti Western style Chomsky explanation at a corporate media place, it would have been greenlit. So I'm really excited that I can do it on my own now, and that you all have like enough faith in me to let me do it. This video was a metric shit ton of work. It pushed me out of my comfort zone, like animation wise, a lot, style wise, a lot, and also just the type of argument. I had like a lot of anxiety going into it. I was really worried about if I would explain it well, or if I would do Chomsky justice, or if it would just be interesting or relevant. And I am very proud of how it came out in the end. But yeah, I'm just really glad that I can. This is a very cool job to have. I'm very, very honored to be able to do this and not have to answer to anyone, and just like be weird and experimental, and spend time making not just like a research argument, but also like an emotional and stylistic and propagandistic argument that I really like. It felt weird to make a video about propaganda without offering some counter propaganda. And so the Western stuff and like the bull stuff at the end was my attempt to be like, I know I'm killing your baby about freedom. Here's a new baby. Like, here's a new way of thinking about the world and about yourself and about power that you can be hopefully just as excited about. So I'm glad about that. I made a list because I'm always afraid that I'm going to run out of things to talk about. So if I seem nervous and like I'm sticking to a list, it's because I am. Oh no, there are 500 of you. God, so stressed out. Okay, so fun facts about this video. Okay, just to say again, if you're a patron, thank you. Seriously. Holy shit, thank you. Fun things about this video. It is the most animation I've ever done for a video. And I know, as a viewer, you're probably thinking, bitch, where? But those scenes where the big government and corporations were on one side and human was in the middle and chains were coming out and it sounded like chains were coming out, that was all done in Premiere with fucking clip art. So it was a lot of work. It takes a lot of money to look this cheap. It took a lot of work to make that animation seem seamless and come out. It was me staring at my Premiere being like, I need to make these chains literally move. These clip art chains move at the same time. If you looked at the corporate control building really closely, you could see little lines because it was fucking clip art that I stole from Google because I don't know how to make those things on my own. So the amount of work that went to make that animation seem like unremarkable is the most work I've ever done on it. But I wanted to show you a thing. I wanted to visualize it a little bit so you could feel like I'm glad that I watched this as a video instead of just reading it. But I'm glad it turned out pretty like relatively seamless because that was a ton of work. So that's true. Another fun fact about this video, it is the second time I shot it because the first time I shot this video was in May before the George Floyd stuff happened. And then the George Floyd stuff happened and my inner anarchist was like, we're not making a government good video right now. We're making a fuck the government video right now. So I pivoted and made 2 videos about cops and had to put this one on the back burner. And when I got back to this one, I hadn't shot some things, which was going to be obvious because I looked really different. Like I lost like 10 pounds and also just look way more pandemic-y now than I did in the first video. And also just like my argument had changed a little bit. Not in the sense that the core of the argument was different, but I wanted to take a second to be like, also like, fuck cops. Like I still wanted to reaffirm that not all government is good and that some government is quite bad, but that, you know, there's this other argument about anti-politics. So I did it twice. I will say, looking at my old footage, my editing has gotten a lot better, which is really cool, just over a couple months of having done this on my own. And it's just wild how much my appearance has changed. It's wild what 3 months of living alone and going through a breakup and getting super radicalized will do to your face, because it did a lot to my face. So that's weird to see. Another fun fact about this video, there is a segment in it that ended up getting cut where it went back to Charles with the cowboy hat and was like a really upside down version of a PragerU video where I, on camera, licked a boot, like actually put my tongue on one of my boots and licked it to make a boot licking joke. And they ended up getting cut. So I licked a whole ass boot for this video and then did not use it in the final footage because it didn't fit. It was too much of me dunking on PragerU, which is like not the point of the video. And also the vibe of it was like very dystopian and creepy, which felt like the neoliberalism death cult video. And this one had more of a Western vibe, so I want to just keep it focused on it. But anyway, I licked a goddamn boot. And I have footage of me looking and there's a point of me on camera being like looking at it and going, what the fuck am I doing with my life? So maybe that'll be on Patreon. There's a lot of weird footage from this video that might be on Patreon. But yeah, my tongue touched a whole ass dirty boot that I was wearing in New York. Don't ask me why I didn't wash it first. I just forgot. I did that. Okay, and then my last thing about this video, I mean, we can talk about it more. But as a creator, I had a lot of anxiety making it because it's just Chomsky's argument is like really smart, but it's also hard to show discreetly. Like I was kind of struggling to basically, to make Chomsky's argument, you have to convince people that corporations are tyrannical organizations and like are trying to control your life, which like for us, and for people who already agree with me, is like kind of obvious, right? Like if you've ever had to stay on the phone with Verizon or deal with fucking YouTube or like with any corporation, you know that these things are tyrannical organizations and that like Elon Musk is a tyrant wannabe. But I kind of wrote the video to be targeted towards, how would I describe them? Like the YouTube college Republican right. Like the men I imagine are watching PragerU and watching Ben Shapiro, which is like younger men who hear about who like read 1984 and think they understand the world and like just have a knee-jerk hostility towards anything cooperative or government driven. All that to say, I think it's probably hard to convince those people that like Elon Musk is not your fucking friend and that like corporations are here to fucking ruin you as quickly as possible. And I didn't want to make a whole video about that. I wanted to just like kind of quickly reference in passing, corporations are the real tyrannies, democracy is the answer. All that to say, I'm not sure if I sold it, if I'm being honest. Like my biggest anxiety rewatching the video is if you weren't already on board about corporations being tyrannies, I might not have persuaded you. which sucks. I don't know. There's not really a way to make that argument efficiently unless you like just sit down with like 50 examples of corporations controlling your life. But anyway, my anxiety the whole time making the video was, did I fail at my main job, which is convincing you of corporate evil? And I hope I didn't. I hope that if you weren't persuaded, you at least have like a moment of skepticism before you hear like the pro-freedom propaganda, like a second of, oh fuck, BP wants me to think this. Why would BP want me to think this? And if I give you that moment of pause of like, or like the maybe Elon Musk is not my friend, that's a success and it worked. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna read all these live stream comments later. So if there's anything that you thought worked really well in the video, I would love to hear it. And also, if there's anything that where you thought I lost you, I would love to hear it, because this is a tough argument to make succinctly. So I don't know. I also worked on it for 6 weeks, and I think if you work on anything for that long by yourself, by the end of it, you're like, none of this is interesting. Nobody's gonna care. I did a bad job of this. I fucked this up. Like all your worst thoughts come into your head. So yesterday, before I hit publish, I was like, this is garbage. Boom, put it on the internet. And it's not garbage, obviously, but I have a lot of anxiety about it. So I hope you liked it, and I hope that it was worth the time. There were a lot of like jokes per minute in this video, which I was really proud of, because they felt like they fit the theme. But also I was like, after the cop video that felt so tense, I was like, let's just talk about bottoming and would say weird shit, call FDR a top, like let's just do it. Everyone commented that I've been in horny jail for too long, and indeed I have. It's okay. We all yearn. One other thing from this video. So I published it, and then I slept for 5 hours, and I woke up and had a voice call from my mom, where she was like, I love the video. I got so emotional when you got shot. I almost cried. And she was like breaking up on the voicemail. My mom watched the scene where Charles shot me and like had a visceral reaction to it, which is hilarious, because I thought it was so like obviously funny and stupid. But my mom was like, I just don't like seeing you even maybe in pain. So that was really cute. Mom, if you're watching this, I'm fine. It's just a joke. That scene where Charles shoots me came out so well. I watched it a million times. Like that, pulling up the hand, clocking, and then them appearing. It felt like Midsummer, like that kind of like tense, oh my god vibe. I'm so proud of how that came out. That and the Bulls on Parade segment at the end was just like, as an editor, I finished the sections and I was like, that's fucking dope. So I hope you guys like that, because I was really proud of both of those segments. Okay, I have some favors to ask of the stream. Oh my god, there's 730 of you here. Hi guys. Hi. I have some favors to ask. One, today is my dad's birthday. His name is also Carlos Maza. If you could just say happy birthday, Carlos's dad, or Papa Maza, or anything in the chat, it would make me happy. And he's not seeing this, but I think it'll make him happy to know that a bunch of strangers and comrades said happy birthday to Papa Maza. The OG Carlos Maza. I'm actually Carlos Maza the fourth, but to me, the prime Carlos Maza, the oh my god, you're all doing it, thank you so much. The guy who got me into Marxist thinking, the guy who wrote a short story when I was a kid called The Mickey Mouse Conspiracy, about how Disney's trying to control your life, and thus set me on a road of radicalization for the rest of my life and corporate skepticism. If you like this video, it is because my dad wrote a short story called The Mickey Mouse Conspiracy that as a kid, I heard about and was like, right, corporations are trying to control your fucking life. So happy birthday, Dad. One of the few very good Virgos in the world who I really, really love. Oh, you guys make me so happy. He's going to lose his shit when he sees all of this. Thank you for doing that. The second favor to ask is one of our Discord moderators, Ash, is going through some personal shit right now with their parents. So they have a GoFundMe, and I put it in the description to this video. If you've got a couple dollars, I want to help someone who's been helping moderate the Discord and just is a dope person who's going through a shitty time in an already very shitty time. I would appreciate you joining me and chipping in to their GoFundMe and just making sure that they have their needs taken care of and take care of themselves. So the link to both the Discord and Ash's GoFundMe are in the description. So thank you for that. Okay. Also, a lot of you asked about the shirt that I was wearing in this last video, which is like a compliment that you all liked it. It is a dope shirt. It is not from my merch store. It is from Wicked's clothing store, and it's actually a really dope shirt of a skull with a bunch of roses coming out of it. So the description to that shirt is also in the comments, or sorry, in the video description. So if you want to go buy that shirt, you can do that. They have a bunch of cool like hippie-ish lefty soft boy type shirts. I have a bunch of them. So that's where that shirt is from. Speaking of shirts, we have a merch store, and every penny that I get from the merch store up until the end of this month too goes directly to the Portland Protest Bail Fund. We've sold a bunch of shirts so far. Some of you have sent me pictures of them on Twitter or Instagram, and they are so cool. So if you want to buy merch and have that money go to the Portland Protest Bail Fund, none of that money is coming to me. They're just like cool lefty shirts. So please do that. And they asked me for new designs, the shirt place. So I'm jonesing to commission some new art. If you have an idea for a kind of shirt that you want, I guess let me put it in the comments or let me know, because I'm interested in making some new shit. So far, I've made nothing with like my appearance in it, because I kind of want to resist being like, look at my face on your shirt. But if you all really want like a Carl shirt, I'll make one. If you want a Charles shirt, I'll make one. But yeah, if you've got a design that you want to see on a shirt or a tank top or a mug or whatever, let me know. That'd be cool. I'm gonna submit the menu design relatively soon. Okay. What else? What else? How's your summer been? Mine's been so weird. I mentioned in my last live stream that the next video I make is going to be about grief, which this video was not. But this video, I guess this is like a fun fact. This video, technically, in my mind, is part one of a two-part video about power. So if you watch all the way to the end, you notice at the very end of this video, there's like a brief clip of me sitting at this desk, feeling like glad that I finished the video, and then having like a moment of self-doubt. And that's not in there by accident. It's because there is a second video about grief and powerlessness and being small that I've been wanting to write all summer, but I felt like I needed to make this video first to set up for this like second idea about power. So the next video I'm working on is about powerlessness and grief, and is going to be like more vulnerable and personal. And yeah, I don't know, just it felt weird to not have a video commenting on how I've experienced this summer and powerlessness, given everything that's been going on. So that's coming next. I'm excited to make it. It's going to be weird. It's going to be really uncomfortable for me as a creator, because when I feel nervous, I just lean on a bunch of evidence, a bunch of jokes, a bunch of clips, like just show. Don't look at me. Just show this, just perform. And there's no way to make this next video without being more vulnerable and griefy, sad. So not looking forward to making that. I mean, I'm looking forward to making it, but I'm very anxious about how you all will react to seeing a video where I'm not like the funny, like quippy research nerd, but I'm like a human being grappling with powerlessness before a monumental election, and just trying to think about ethics and politics while the world is like fully ending. So look forward to that. That'll be great. Yeah, it'll be great. But yeah, this is part one of a two-part video that I hope you all really enjoy. Thanks for watching it. I was going to answer some questions, but also if there's anything that you wanted to ask me about this past video, you should ask me about that too. My general rules for Q&As are, if you want me to talk shit about other leftists, I'm not going to do it. If you have feelings about Destiny or any of the other ones, I hope that you get what you want out of that. But I don't want to talk about other leftists. I find it boring. And I think it's my only rule, basically. But yeah, I'll answer whatever questions you want. And also, there's something that you all want for me to do. This looks like I'm doing an OnlyFans. There's something that you want me to do. Just kidding. I have thought about doing video game streams. because it feels weird to go so long without like not talking to you all in between videos when I'm like working on stuff. But I feel like that general dynamic of you all like watching me when I'm not performing is, I don't want to create that dynamic. You know, I don't want like that much accessibility. I'm very guarded about myself, and I don't want you all just watch me play like Divinity 2 and just staring at my screen like, oh shit, I'm losing. Like, I don't think anybody wants to see that. And I don't know if that's like the kind of comfort spot I think we want each other to be in. But I don't know, maybe one day. When Baldur's Gate comes out, I'm going to leave this plane of existence for like 6 months. So maybe I should stream, because otherwise you'll think I'm dead. But I'm just going to be playing the gay tiefling bard warlock of my dreams. I'm not going to be dead. Okay, so I'll just go through answering questions and shooting the shit. I might just like tell a couple stories at some point. I don't know. Let's just hang loose. Okay. If you had more time and editing skills, what would you want to add to the video, Megan? You know what? I'm happy with how it came out. This pushed me so beyond my editing skills. I think I probably wouldn't have done anything different. I would make the audio transition smoother. I shouldn't say this because then you're going to know what I'm bad at. I'm always anxious about whether or not music is coming in or leaving at the right time and how audio sounds, because I know that I'm not good at it. So I would have spent some more time smoothing out the bad music parts. But I don't know. The video was fucking cool. I have to keep telling myself everything I make is like so much better than anything I ever thought I could make when I was at Vox, because I didn't know how to edit. And so, you know, if you look at my first story, my like, what is too far left video, it's like visually pretty safe. Like the most that I do is just have me cropped into a TV and make it look like I'm talking to myself, but it's all pretty safe. This video is like a whole ass skit and like lots of weird shit happening and highlights and animations. And obviously when I look at my own video, like when I rewatch this video today, all I notice is everything I did wrong. This thing came in a second too early. This came in a second too late. This audio didn't really match here. This audio peaked here. And there are some commenters who are happy to remind me that the audio is peaking and that my mic is bad. I know my mic is bad. I know my mic is bad. I'm going to make a shirt that says the audio sucks. I know. I am not a fucking soundscape artist, all right? I'm in my apartment, which is not soundproofed, with shit echoing off my tiny living room. I know the sound is bad. But I got a lot of comments about that. And then just in general, like my color correction is off. Everything visual and audio about the video is secondary to me. All that matters is that the argument is good and that I have evidence for it. But that being said, I'm really happy when the stuff does look like good. Like that Charles shooting scene, I was like, that is fucking awesome. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I got to keep reminding myself whenever I look at my videos, like you never, ever thought you could have made something like this. And I probably couldn't have unless I got like forced to walk on my own. Also, she mentioned this cowboy hat. This is Coleman's hat. The guy I used to make strike through with at Vox, who's still one of my best friends. I was like, I need a cowboy hat for this bit. Which of my fucking friends owns a cowboy hat? And Coleman's from Richmond, so I was like, hey buddy, you got a hat that I can use? And he was like, I got this one. And then he brought it over, and I was like, is that a cowboy hat? Do cowboys wear this? But now I'm really into it. It looks like if a cowboy had a baby with the American Horror Story Coven witches, this is what they would wear. So that's my aesthetic. I'll fuck with it. Let's see. Do you send your videos to anyone before they come out? Not Brandon. No, I don't. Nobody looks at what I make until I hit publish, which is an absolutely fucking insane way to make videos. 24 minutes of shit that could have errors in it with no second look is an insane way to make anything. But I don't have an editor. So I just kind of make it, and I don't want to have to export something when I'm not done with it, so no one sees it. I like call my dad and run things by him and say, does this make sense? Or I'll ask some of my friends who really know, like, does this make sense? For this video, there's a day where I went with Coleman to the park, and I was like, I have a very serious question. Tell me this is funny. He just got really quiet, and I was like, a gay detective called Inspector Fadget. And he like died laughing, and I was like, cool, that joke is going in. And to this day, after having rewatched it a million times, Inspector Fadget is so funny to me, I almost shit. That is such a good joke. Such a good joke. Putting the letter F before any word to make it gay is hilarious. It's based off a Kathy Griffin joke where she talked about someone having a gay dog, a fog. So Inspector Fadget, like to this day, makes me laugh really, really hard. It gets so close to the line of being inappropriate and offensive. It's so close to being offensive, but it's actually not offensive at all. God, I love that joke. And when I pulled out the gun and with the grinder sound, I don't often make myself laugh, but when I do, I make myself fucking laugh. Okay. I just went on a tangent about how I like my own jokes. Let's see. Do you feel the video is very American? Yeah, this video is definitely oriented towards Americans. Though I think the freedom thing is broader. I think the like corporations using freedom as a weapon to convince you to not defend yourself is broader than America, but I've always experienced it as being deeply intertwined with Americana and like this idea of the Lone Ranger or whatever. Not the Lone Ranger, but like, a badass cowboy and wanting to be free and like the Second Amendment, like you're going to fight the government. And so it felt weird not to not talk about it in the American sense. Also, from like a writing perspective, having the first line of the video be, when you think about it, America is kind of the perfect target, is like a very compelling lead. Like once I had that line in my head, I was like, yeah, great way to start a video about propaganda is America is a perfect target. So yeah, this is a video about America though. Obviously Chomsky's argument applies everywhere. And I love all of my non-American viewers. I only know enough to talk about exactly where I live. Do you really not read anything other than Chomsky? Paulo. The funny version of that joke is I actually didn't really read Chomsky in college. And my exposure to Chomsky was through college debate, because people would read Chomsky at each other a lot. And so I only knew of him like in a debate setting, the way that I only really knew of Foucault like as a debate argument, or basically like every smart writer as a debate argument first and then reading them. But since doing my job, Chomsky comes up a lot more. And he's extremely my shit. Someone asked me in the last stream if I was like an anarchist or a Marxist-Leninist or whatever, and I don't really know. Like I don't have a great term for my political ideology, but Chomsky is like this really great sweet spot in that he's an anarchist who hates the government and also is a big state boy who's like, but we should use it to defend ourselves. And that is very much my sweet spot. Like I think he makes this argument about like withdrawing from politics or like the ceding the political, like letting the right just control government because we don't trust government, and about the importance of the left being engaged and using government as a weapon to defend themselves. That is, it's just very much my worldview. And so he is like constantly in my head. And he's just like there's a pretty famous debate between, I think, Foucault and Chomsky. Did I make that up? Foucault and Chomsky had some big debates at a college where there's a translator, where Chomsky was like basically making it's Chomsky and Foucault. He's making like the political engagement argument, and I don't know, Chomsky's got fucking swagger, dude. Like he was hot as shit back then. I think he's still hot. He's hot as shit back then, and his vibe is just like, I don't know, man. I think we should all try to work together and use the weapons, the tools that we have to make the world a better place. He's just like a cool, sweet, smart guy. So I like him. He did sign that turf manifesto with J.K. Rowling, so Chomsky is canceled. After this whole video about Chomsky's canceled. He's an old man now. I don't know if he even knows what he was signing, but yeah, that letter that he signed sucked ass, and we should cancel him for it. But his early work really informed my thinking a lot about things. So yeah, that was my love letter to him. Okay, sorry, I'm like blowing through these. How much right-wing garbage do you have to watch to talk about it confidently? I watch a lot of right-wing garbage. A lot of right-wing garbage, y'all. My brain is booked. I mean, I worked at Media Matters for 5 years before I worked at Fox. So I was genuinely watching Fox News several hours a day, every single day, and writing about it. There's no about gay people. They're talking about gay and trans people when I was working there because I was like their LGBT researcher. There is no fucked up thing the right has said about sexual minorities that I have not heard and written about and transcribed. I've seen a lot of that shit. And then when I was at Vox 2, we did a lot of it. I think I'm pretty numb to hearing shitty arguments from the right. Like, I'm very grateful for all the time that I spent watching it, because I feel like if you haven't watched a lot of right-wing propaganda, you might have a very visceral reaction to it. Like, it's very, it's offensive not just on an ethical, but on an intellectual level. It's so fucking stupid most of the time that it's hard to debate it and not get flustered by how weak a lot of the arguments for like fascism and corporate dominance are, and just generally like the Fox News type of bullshit. And so I'm glad that I've seen enough of it that I'm truly just like unfazed and unsurprised by everything that I see. Like, there's no argument I've ever heard where I've been like, that's too extreme to make. I've truly heard everything. And it doesn't really upset me, despite being the world's biggest snowflake and triggered by everything. I'm not really moved by arguments on the right that much in a defensive way. I think they're really interesting in the sense that they all kind of follow 4 or 5 big themes, and they're all paid for by oil companies. So it's fun to watch how a whole corporate ecosystem has produced a line of thought, but I don't really get flustered by it. The fucking YouTube right loves to say, you're triggered, everything triggers you. And I used to debate in college where I would like confidently stand in front of adults and say, human beings should be wiped off the face of the earth to save aliens. We should let genocide play out, because if you try to stop it, they're just going to fight worse in the long run. We should do nothing about lynching gay people, because lynching is beautiful. I have made some of the most heinous arguments you can possibly imagine and won trophies for them. I'm very down with saying things that are horrific to get a reaction out of an audience. Nothing phases me. I just think your argument is bad and stupid, and that you should be deplatformed because you're bad and stupid. But I don't get phased very much. I have a very high tolerance for unethical arguments from debate, which is like the beauty of debate. It teaches you to hear really awful things and not react to them in an emotional way, and just be like, that's obviously dumb and you're trying to get a rise out of me. But yeah, not triggered by anything I see anymore. Now it's more just like, there's a kind of deep existential hopelessness that comes over me, because I know that most of the people who are advancing right-wing thought on the right, like the big people, like, you know, the Crowders of the world, the Shapiros of the world, do not actually believe what they're saying. Like, their arguments aren't coming from a place of sincerity. They're coming from a place of profit incentive and just like a reactionary ego type thing. Like, it feels good to say offensive things because your audience likes it, so you're just doing it for like the applause or for the reaction. Makes you feel a certain way about yourself. But trying to engage with those arguments seriously, it's just like not a fruitful use of time, because it's like you're just arguing with people's egos for the most part. Like, no one genuinely believes that if you had that, like, climate scientists are working together to lie about climate change because it makes them money. Like, I could argue with you, but you don't fucking believe that. You're just saying it because your audience wants to hear it, and it's easier than confronting the reality of climate change. Like, you have your own weird reasons for believing that, but there's no study I'm going to pull out of my ass to make you believe it. So I'm like, I don't know. That's why I'm a big deplatformer. I'm like, what are you going to say about this that's going to convince any audience member? If someone believes this, it's because it makes them feel good to believe it, not because that's right. So what am I going to say? Actually, most scientists, like, bad faith is bad faith. Sorry, I've been rambling for a long time. Can you tell that I've had no human interaction for like 5 days because I've just been editing by myself? I've not even gone to the park. So being able to just talk to humans and see you all reacting is making me feel good about myself. There are 800 of you in here. Who are you people? Hi, all 800 of you. What the fuck? I shouldn't be screaming. I'm sorry. That's a good what the fuck. It's so good to have you here. Thanks for coming. I'm always like, there are going to be 5 people talking, listening to me, and half of them are going to be my family members. So thanks for being here. I love you guys too. I gotta say, there's a moment in the production process called the Valley of Despair, when you start off with an idea, you're like, this is going to be fucking great. I know exactly what it's going to look like. I can't wait to get this done. Up here. Then you start working on it, and things starts going wrong, and you realize you're not that good of an editor, and your music sounds weird, and your audio levels are spiking, and you get to the Valley of Despair, where you're like, this is going to be bad no matter what I do, because I don't know how to write and I don't know how to edit and I don't know what I'm talking about anymore and all my shots are fucked, and like self-doubt comes in. Normally you would have an editor come in at that point, the Valley, and say, you're good, let's get this shit on the road. But I don't have an editor or coworkers right now. So the thing that got me out of the valley of despair this week was this. Knowing that after I published, I was able to live stream and talk to humans who were curious about what I was saying. So, I'm like, made myself weirdly emotional just now. I'm really grateful for this. I know it's parasocial. I know this isn't real love. I know that I'm just a person on the internet and that you're just people on the internet. But especially in the world's loneliest summer, it is so dope to be able to work really hard on something, just trusting that the audience will be there and the audience being there. So thank you for being here. I have a lot of self-doubt about what I'm doing and what I'm making, and if I'm smart enough to be talking about this, and if I should be doing YouTube differently. And it takes a lot of like self-restraint to say, spend a long time working on a big thing. It's important. People will want to hear it. And this stuff is useful. So thanks for like, when I make that leap of faith, catching me and like watching and being interested, because after working on any project for that long, you're just like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. None of this is useful. And it's just really nice to have an audience there. I am feeling sentimental today. This is not cowboy-like at all. Okay, sorry. I'll go back to questions now. Also, this feels like a party, which is nice on a Monday night, because Mondays are usually rough. But for me, this is technically my Friday. I was looking at my Instagram today. I was looking at like my activity, and you can see as the week went on, it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like the closer I got to publishing, I was like, fuck my phone, fuck everything. Like just focus on what you're making. So today it was like, everything's back up. Let's fuck around. Let's go for a walk. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Now you're responding to me being emotional, so there are no comments or no questions. RBG seed strategy. Dude, I don't know. After the RBG news, I was lying in bed and I was like, we might have to fight in the streets for real. Like, I'm imagining another McConnell push through, and I'm like, I can see the argument for just torching everything, just torching buildings. Like, the thought of it makes me so agitated. Yeah, I don't have a good strategy. There's a moment in an early Contra video where she was like, she was like talking about Antifa and burning things in the streets, and she was like, unless Trump tries to steal the election, in which case I will unironically become an anarchist and join you in the streets. And I was like, I feel very that. There's a part of me that's like, at one point, I'm going to stop making videos and genuinely pick up that hammer because I've run out of other options. So that's how I feel. Dread and anxiety and fear. Let's see. You got the RBG news on fucking TikTok? No. Oh no. My bad thing is that I'm on Twitter too much, so I saw the RBG news right when it happened, and then I had like 10 friends text me, RBG just died. And I was like, thank you. I am aware. So that was a real rough. I just like put my phone down, ate an edible, and was like, nope. I'll see you all in 6 hours. Not doing this today. And they just have not thought about it at all since it happened. Okay. Let's see. There's some good questions. Someone's asking me about leftist solutions. I have none. Work together, be like the bull, vote. I don't know. I feel like if I say vote, everyone, the people pulling away from voting will get mad at me. And I hear you. But as a Chomsky, I don't want to see the political. So I guess I would just say vote. I'm going to volunteer to run a polling place with my mom, which feels like something. Yeah, join your DSA and try your best wherever you can. Okay, sorry. The questions are don't just vote, run. Yeah, run for office. I can't run for office because I've tweeted too much, and I've said too many stupid things on the internet. Like, I want to take my hammer and take to the streets. So I can't ever run. But if you would like to run and need a semi-amateur video editor to make your campaign videos. I might be interested. I'm just kidding. I don't want to have a boss ever again. Seize the means of your own production. Make your own shit on your own time. I'm just kidding. I'm extremely lucky, but I don't want to have a boss ever again. Never again. Also, I don't know if y'all saw, if you're Vox people, but Johnny Harris is doing his own thing now completely and like is fully indie. He's the guy who made Borders. So if you would like to go subscribe to his channel, you should subscribe to him because he's incredibly good and smart and sweet and makes truly some of the best videos on the internet. And when I started at Vox, Johnny Harris, who was a big deal there and had no business being nice to me and like being sweet to me, was so sweet to me. And like would message me after every strike through video and be like, this was so great and was such a good dude. So Johnny Harris, genuinely incredible dude, has had my back through thick and thin and just like is nice to those he does not need to be nice to, which is a high fucking compliment to give to a human being. So love Johnny. I love the whole Harris family. Stand all of them. Let's see. People ask me a lot about Vox. People love the thought of me like going on an expose about Vox. I really don't have it in me. I did tweet shittily about Matt Iglesias last night because he went on Glenn Beck's show. You don't need to go on fascist shows. You don't have to do it. Even if you're promoting a book, you don't have to do it. You could just, you have a big platform. You don't have to go on Glenn Beck's show. You don't have to go on Ben Shapiro's show. You could just have a moral compass and use your huge website that you started to make your point. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of asking about other political types. I'm not going to do it. So someone's asking me about Glenn Greenwald. I'm not taking the bait. Glenn Greenwald blocked me a while ago, and it's made my life better, and I don't want to engage with him. Paul is asking, am I vegan? I'm not actually vegan. I'm vegetarian, but I tried to be vegan earlier this year, and I thought, why am I doing this right now? It's too hard. Too hard at the end of the world. So I'm not vegan, but I just thought that rent joke was like too good to let go. I am actually living in the East Village in Alphabet City where rent was taking place. And I am actually moving out because I cannot afford rent anymore because I signed this lease when I had insurance and a full-time job. So that part is true. And I am gay, but I'm not a vegan, just like vegan adjacent. And also I love Rent. After I made that joke, I started listening to Rent on my iPod and was like, actually, I love this musical. Oh my God. I remember watching the movie in Disney World with my mom when I was a kid and thinking, this Rosario Dawson this is some good shit. Her version of Goodbye Love, oh my God. I used to drive to school listening to the Rent soundtrack, the Wicked soundtrack, and Rage Against the Machine. That's a good little gay boy. Wicked straight into Bulls on Parade. Thank goodness, straight into Testify. What a intense. No wonder I showed up at school every day like, let's fucking go, because I was getting hyped up on Rage Against the Machine and Wicked on the way there, and Rent. Screaming in my apartment. Oh, I'm spiraling. Okay, let's see. There was a quick joke that I don't know if anyone saw, but at the end of the Make Mine Freedom video in this last one, I added a little subtitle that was playing like the Star Spangled Banner in a really cheesy way, but the subtitle just said "Know Your Enemy" by Rage Against the Machine. Flashed for like a second. I don't know if anyone saw that. I used to drive to debate tournaments listening to "Know Your Enemy" by Rage Against the Machine and getting so insanely hyped. So insanely hyped. Someone keeps asking what radicalized me. Listening to "Know Your Enemy" in high school and being like, everything I've been taught is a lie was a really radicalizing experience. And then going into my ass thoroughly kicked at high school debate tournaments. That also radicalized me. Alexander asked, how worried are you about the future of America? My next video is about grief and powerlessness. So I would say I've graduated from worried into a kind of Taoist detachment from my own suffering, our own collective suffering. Yeah, that's rough. Brady asks, what's your biggest goal right now? survive. Honestly, it's been a really, really hard year. Not just 2020, but like even going back a year ago, starting from like losing my job and having an office to go into anymore, trying to go independent, having a pandemic hit, going through a breakup. Like it's been a bad year. So if I can get out through this year being a decent person, making stuff that I'm proud of, and not causing people pain, that would be a big goal. 100K subs at the end of the year would also be a big goal. Also, I should probably comment, I slammed a door on my finger very hard. So that's why that is happening. I don't have painted nails. I have terrible hand-eye coordination. Sorry for giving you all the finger. Let's see. What is your favorite book? The Stand. Nope. The Stand by Stephen King. Also Covering by Kenji Yoshino. Great book. I have some really nerdy book choices. Let's see. Your favorite stupid movie? Great question. The Sweetest Thing with Cameron Diaz and Christina Applegate. What a good stupid movie. Rat Race with Mr. Bean. What a good stupid movie. There's a scene from The Sweetest Thing where I think Cameron Diaz calls another character, one of her friends at work, and someone at work picks up and is like, "How can I help you?" And Cameron Diaz goes, "Hello, is Jane there?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll get her." She goes, "Have a wonderful day." And whenever my mom and I call each other, we do that bit. "Hello, is Jane there?" Every time we pick up the phone. Sweetest Thing. Also, I remember watching that movie and watching the music video for Too Big to Fit in Here and being like, what the fuck is happening right now? That's a good movie. Okay, let's see. The penis song. Yeah. Great movie. What podcast do you listen to? Oh my god, great question. I just got into quick information. I'm moving back home at the end of this year because the world is ending. Fun fact about me: I'm moving back to Florida because I live alone in New York, and I will die if I'm here by myself during the winter with no one to talk to. So I'm moving home for a little bit, which is like a very dramatic life change, and it's a lot to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it right now. But one of the cool parts of moving home is I'm going to get to play D&D with my siblings. I'm DMing a D&D campaign for my 3 sisters and my brother when I get home. So I've been thinking about D&D a lot, and I've like made like a cool fantasy world. But to get in the zone for it, I've been listening to the Adventure Zone, which is the McElroy brothers and their dad's D&D campaign, and it's been really, really fun because it starts off with them like fucking around and not taking it seriously because it's D&D. And then they play for years, and by the end of it, you're like, they're all so good at this. Like they're all telling such moving emotional stories, and like they're all goofy dummies, but you can watch scenes from their podcast that people have animated on YouTube, and like I cry. There's a should I just like recommend if you search The Adventure Zone Arms Outstretched, there's a scene from their podcast that got animated that every time I watch it makes me cry. I don't know why. Very, very emotional. So I've been listening to a lot of that. And then like Invisibilia, which is a great podcast by NPR. Las Culturistas I listen to. To be honest with you guys, I'm a little burnt out on podcasts lately. I don't know. I just miss talking to people. I do it to fill time and fill space when it's quiet, and I'm really grateful for my podcast, but I miss humans. I miss talking to people for real. Let's see. Someone's asking for bottoming tips. I'm not doing that on a live stream. There are a lot of useful resources you can find on the internet to figure out how to bottom. Could you imagine if I had like some really good advice about it? Don't leave your body and project into the astral plane. I don't know what best advice to give you all. Let's see. You should listen to Reply All. I've actually been an episode of Reply All. I am a full-ass episode of the Reply All podcast. about what happened to me with the Crowder stuff. So I'm a fan of them. Let's see. I don't have any pets. I live by myself in New York. No pets. Don't have anywhere to put them. Also, I shoot all my videos in my own apartment. So if I had anything that barked or made noise or could screw up a seamless, it would be very obvious. Though my plan is, when I move back to New York, get a big place out in Brooklyn, deep in Brooklyn, and have a little cat. A cat that does not like me. A cat that wants me dead. That's my dream pet. Doesn't need emotional support, just wants to remind me that I can be killed at any point in time. That's my jam. Let's see. Are you a true crime person? Nope, not really. I did watch a lot of Locked Up when I was younger. I really enjoyed Locked Up. I find it fascinating, even though it's an marginally exploitative show, maybe fully exploitative show. I haven't thought about it that much. Yeah, but I don't watch a lot of true crime stuff. It gives me anxiety. I don't need any more anxiety. Advice for queer questioning kids. I'm not a great person for this. I feel like my experience is very specific to me. Joining debate and like being liberated through that. I would say find queer art that speaks to you. For me, it was like electric feminist punk art. Read queer theory as early as you can and learn about the ways that we internalize shame. Also try to build up the muscle you have in your gut that tells you that even if everyone around you is telling you that you're wrong, that you know something is viscerally right, and that you should get comfortable with the experience of knowing you're right even when no one else agrees with you, because that will be an experience you like take with you for the rest of your life. If you can afford it, therapy, but I imagine therapy is not like super easily accessible to most people. Yeah. Do you work out at home to boost your endorphins? I bought a jump rope and I've been jump roping in the park, and that's been really fun. Jumping rope is so gay. I love it. I love it. What a great workout. Skip. I do that, and I do push-ups and body weight squats. I've not lifted a weight in many, many, many months, and I'm surprised at how little my body has changed. Like, I don't think that the weights were doing that much. They look basically the same. All my clothes still fit, which is not a powerful vote of confidence for the gym. Speaking of which, I have to cancel my gym membership, and the only way to cancel it is to go in to a gym and cancel it. And I don't want to go in. Why am I complaining? Why am I doing the old lady complaining about gyms right now? But anyway, New York is opening back up and I have to close my gym. Let's see. Those of you who are bouncing, thank you for bouncing. Oh my God, we've been doing this for almost an hour. Let's see. Any mental hygiene practices like switching off from the news? Oh, someone's asked me about my mental hygiene practices. One is, if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you will know that I keep a very pristine follower to following ratio, which is to say I don't follow very many people on either app. And that is not to be like a cool guy. That's because the more people I follow, the worse I feel. I have to constantly resist the urge to thirst follow guys who I think are cute, because then I'll just have their cute pictures in my feed and be like, okay, well, this just makes me feel bad. I don't love this interaction. So I actually am really brutal and ruthless about unfollowing people if I feel like it's making me feel like shit, which has led to some uncomfortable conversations about why I unfollowed people. But I'd say keep your follower list low, including if that means unfollowing me. If following me does not make you feel good, do not follow me. And also, I sit in a park every day that I can and listen to the birds for a while and call home a lot and go to therapy every week. And I've had to go through a real transformation with my own work. Going from a place where any video I made would get like at least 1 million views and be like, I'm hot shit, I'm a Vox person, my whole identity is wrapped up in this, to being a person who doesn't have any of that stuff and has no boss waiting on them and just to make things because I think they're cool and are important, and not because I think I'm going to get a million views. I've had this like weird transition in my life from going to a point in time where basically every time I went out on the street, someone would be like, "You're the Vox guy," to now going on the street and very rarely am I recognized. And that would be traumatic, I think, for some people. And it's like, it does kind of feel shitty a little bit, but I'm lucky enough that I've got to a point in my life, and especially around work, where I like what I make enough and I'm really proud of what I'm doing enough that that stuff doesn't matter. So I'd say get to a headspace where I have to get to a headspace where I feel like what I'm making is a good reflection on who I am as a human and what I want to do in the world. And not because I'm trying to like appease an audience or stay relevant. Like I love the audience that I have right now, and also know that when I'm making stuff, it's driven by a real sense of like, I think this stuff is good and important, and so everything else can kind of like fall by the wayside. Okay, let's see. Do you think like do you feel like coming from Vox has helped boost you at all? Yeah, I think I only had the audience I had because I was a Vox. Before I was a Vox, I was like, I was at Media Matters, and I did not have as big of a platform. I think I had like 11,000 followers on Twitter when I left, and now I have much more. The Vox thing has helped a lot. Honestly, the Crowder thing has increased my profile, even though it was the worst year of my life. But yeah, that was a big difference. It helped a bunch. I'm very grateful that I had that platform and moved away and was able to take some of my audience, and that some of the Vox videos have links to my new channel on it, which is, they didn't have to do that. So that was really sweet of them. Do you like any of the White Wolf games? I don't know what that is. Let's see. What advice would you give people wanting to work at places like Vox? If you want to work in the video team, I would say learn how to do a lot on your own, like be a one-man band. And I think probably other places now all require you to be like a writer, researcher, producer, shooter. So learn how to do all your stuff. I got really lucky that I got hired with Coleman when we got hired. So I didn't have to edit or shoot. I just got to write and be cute on camera. But I imagine now if we tried to apply that, we would not get in. You need to be able to do everything on your own. Let's see. Oh, White Wolf is Witcher. No. I don't really like solo RPGs. I like big group things where I can imagine the group hanging out together and talking to each other. I got into Pathfinder Kingmaker again in between the last two videos because I just like the idea of groups sitting around a campfire and hanging out with each other. Maybe I am a cowboy. I like group dynamics. So any game that's like solo playing, like an individual person, like The Witcher, is not my thing. Let's see. I played Pillars. Play Diablo. Extrovert or introvert? You know what, Mike? I think I've noticed something over the course of the summer, which is that when I hang out in groups, I talk a lot less now. I don't really say much, which feels weird. I think the pandemic has made me much more comfortable with sitting silently and not commenting on things as they go by. Like most feelings I have or most thoughts I have, I can't really tell anybody right now. So I just kind of let them go. And the few times that I get to sit in a group setting now, I'm like kind of surprised at how quiet I am. You'd think I'd be like, let's talk all the time. I guess now I'm like, cannot shut the fuck up. But maybe just because I'm happy to hear people talk, maybe because I'm just like used to podcasts. I find myself very quiet. So I think I've become more introverted, more quiet now. And it's kind of nice. I'm very different on camera than I am normally. And I think sometimes if people like run into me on the street, they expect me to be more of the like on camera Carlos, which is a part of me for sure. But I am a pretty quiet person for the most part. And I don't like talking about politics. I like talking about video games, emotional stuff, dumb, goofy shit, and like fantasy. But I'm not like a big political arguer person. My worst thought is someone coming up to me and being like, "Hey, can I debate you on something?" No, you may not. I've had some people come up to me and be like, try to initiate a political conversation. I'm like, boom, counterspell. Don't want to talk about that at all. Do not talk to me about that stuff. I like being quiet. And I don't like arguing about things with a stranger in public settings if I think they're important. If they're important, I'll talk to you about it. I don't want to have a fight. Okay. Best part about being a YouTuber. Honestly, it's the calls from YouTube. No, it's not. I've gotten 2 calls from YouTube since starting YouTube. 2 phone calls from YouTube. One to tell me that a joke I made on Twitter where I said, "What the fuck is a YouTube partner? Bitch, I'll fucking kill you," was a death threat, and that if I kept making death threats, I would lose my account. Not a joke. And 2, to tell me that Crowder was being remonetized. 2 phone calls from YouTube. Don't make death threats. The person who spent months harassing you is getting money back. Thanks for calling. That part sucks. The best part of working on YouTube is that I don't have to answer to anybody except for YouTube. But I don't have to answer to like an editor. I can make my own shit, which feels really good. Feels really good. Let's see. Can you teach us how to counterspell? I have that counterspell thing is a new joke. not really a joke. A bit that only I find funny, which is like whenever something happens around me that I don't like or don't want to engage in or it grosses me out, counterspell. Don't like to me. Counterspell is like such a. Anytime counterspell comes up in a video game or a tabletop game, it's such a like boner kill. It's like such a nope. Whatever cool thing you want to do, scratch it. Counterspell. Anytime someone plays counterspell, you're like, fuck. I had a whole plan. When you're in D&D and you have like some great boss, you cast some spell, and the player's just like counterspell. All right, well, fuck me then. So counterspells become my new like. Anytime something I don't like is happening, I just go counterspell. Eventually, I'm going to learn how to animate an actual counterspell thing and make it show up in a video. But right now it's just a thing in my head. I need to learn how to like make magical. The day I learn how to make it look like I'm casting spells in a video, it is over for you capitalists. Let's see. Those of you who are checking out, good night. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll do this for like 20 more minutes and log out. I feel like an hour and 20 is a good live stream time. And also I need to like go take care of my life. When I'm making a video, I don't do laundry and I don't buy groceries and I don't do anything to maintain my apartment. So always my method is like publish a video and be like, I don't have underwear. I just have to like fix my life. So I need to fix my life after this. So thanks to you who came to hang out. Make a counterspell shirt. I should do that. Do you have characters in mind for other videos? Yes. Next video will have the therapist, for sure. Probably most of the video will be the therapist. And then there's another character I had. Oh, such a good idea. I think I'm still going to do it. But while Charles is like the corporate centrist shitty character, I have an idea for a character who's like a much more manic, genuinely evil, like apocalyptic character named Klaus. That I had a whole script for when the war with Iran stuff was happening that I didn't get to use. But I have a character named Klaus who's like the death drivey, wants to see it all burn type character that I may that will come out a little bit later in another video. But I'm really excited about that. Have you ever watched Critical Role? Everything I learned about DMing, I learned from Matt Mercer. The scene at the end of Campaign 1 of Critical Role, I'm sorry for everyone I'm about to lose right now, where Scanlan realizes he has to burn his wish spell, instead counterspelling something, so he won't be able to save his friend, and watching the player recognize that on camera and start crying. It's one of the more emotional things. That makes me cry every single time. I'm not a big crier. Every single time I see Scanlan realize he has to burn his last spell on counterspell instead of wish, I cry. That's so specific. But yes, I love Critical Role. I made a D&D explain video for Vox that Matt Mercer tweeted, and it is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. Matt Mercer liked my explanation of D&D. Coolest thing that's ever happened to me. Let's see. What's the name of your tiefling sorcerer? I think my character when I play Baldur's Gate might be Carl. I think Carl might be the actual hero that I play. I love Carl. He only made a quick appearance in this video, but I love that alter ego. Carl is truly who I want to be. Like, I am unfortunately stuck being Carlos for the rest of my life, but I hope to keep moving closer and closer to being a sexy Hadestown style, goofy, optimistic dreamer with a hammer. Love that boy. Love that boy. Playing that character has made me feel more confident in my own ability to make good progressive work. Spend enough time on Twitter being called a centrist neoliberal shill for working at Vox, you can start to doubt your own ability to make compelling progressive arguments. So Carl's been nice in like being able to have a character to reclaim that part of my political work. Sometimes it feels like it's not really mine. I feel out of my element a lot. Like someone's going to come in and say, "You don't know theory," and I'm going to be like, "Yeah, I don't. I don't know theory." Let's see. There's lots of comments about me being a bottom or a top that I find very funny. My image of myself is like a big goofy idiot who does not know how to tie his shoes. So anyone talking about me having sex to me is very funny because I find the idea of me having sex very funny. Let's see. Is there a way to watch Hadestown online? There is. There is. Someone uploaded an entire bootleg of it on YouTube. But I don't know how to find it. But if you look hard enough, you can find it. Let's see. Should people read theory? I don't know. A lot of the coolest left-wing activists that I know did not study theory in school. And I don't feel like a lot of my work is informed by theory. I'm sure it's really helpful and useful, but my general feeling is like the people we're fighting against are not making high-level arguments that require a lot of theory to deal with. So though intellectually I love theory stuff, whenever I read it, I find it really interesting. I feel for the most part, you don't have to read theory to be helpful in the fight. And actually, I don't think theory is that helpful in the fight most of the time. But I think it's great. Also, talking about theory broadly as if it's just one thing is insane. So you should read if you feel like it's interesting and helps you understand the world. But I don't think you need to read a lot of books to understand ethics and being a good person and working in cooperation with those around you. So I wouldn't, if you don't read a lot of theory, I would say you're in good company, and that company is me. We're not reading books together. Video games and fucking around and trying your best for the win. Let's see. Favorite candy bar, Reese's peanut butter cups. Anything with peanut butter in it, I will eat it. Anything with peanut butter, I will eat it. Or peanuts, Snickers. Worst part of living in New York? God, I really fucking love living in New York. Worst part? It's hard to date, I would say. I feel like the worst part of living in any city is the men. The worst part of any city is the men. So the worst part about New York is the men. I don't know. There's just something not solid about them. Too many flashing lights. Am I speaking broadly enough? Am I speaking vaguely enough? Any way to not panic intensely while arguing? This is a great question. It's tough. The thing that's helped me the most to not get overheated in debates and to like keep my cool is to recognize usually one of two things is happening. If you're getting heated, the person is saying something inflammatory because they're trying to appeal to an audience, which has nothing to do with you. They're trying to perform antagonism for an audience, which is understandable, but there's nothing for you to do about that. Like if someone's trying to dunk on you to make you feel bad or look dumb, that's nothing to do with you. And also there's nothing for you to win from getting overheated because that person does not give a shit about you. They're doing it for something else. Or the other thing that's happening is the person's ego is triggered, and for them, arguing and crushing you is about making them feel secure about themselves and not having their worldview threatened, which again is not about you. So don't let it in. Recognize for the most part that when someone is debating with you, it's got nothing to do with the substance of what you're talking about. And if it is about the substance, that usually you won't get heated arguing about that. You'll just like try to understand each other better. But just recognize that a lot of like arguing is where everyone's like worst impulses come out. So try to understand that most of the time it's got nothing to do with you. And just like forgive people for being assholes, and yeah, try to stay connected to the fact that you're not a punching bag for anybody, and that you're smart. You come to your conclusions for a good reason, and that you can have disagreements about things without being assholes. And if someone's being a dickhead, it's just you got to call it and walk away. My best argument for debate, best advice for debating is don't debate. For the most part, the debating in a public forum for an audience, or when someone is that interested in having a feud with you, it's not really about understanding each other, and it's not really about coming to an agreement. It's about trying to soothe yourself or soothe the audience through violence or antagonism, which you just don't have to participate in. If I really want to convince you of something, I'll talk with you about it like a human and show you my best evidence for it. But I'm not going to like crush it, destroy you with facts and logic. Let's see. People ask a lot about my tattoos. I've talked about them before. Oh, I have a new tattoo. I don't know if I should show it. It is on my rib cage, which feels like not appropriate for a YouTube live stream. But I have a tattoo here now that is 5 notes. This is for the video game nerds out there. 5 notes from Aerith's theme from Final Fantasy VII. I have 5 notes on my rib now with lines from Aerith's theme, which if I ever get married, which who knows if I will, to someone who likes me a lot and will let me pick a song, or who loves video games like me, I would like to walk down the aisle to Aerith's theme. I think Aerith's theme, the orchestral version of it from Final Fantasy VII, is one of the more beautiful and sad and romantic songs I've ever heard. To me, the song sounds like tragedy and joy, suffering and hope, all of the ups and downs of a relationship or of life. And so I wanted to get a tattoo on my body that reminded me that sad things come and happy things come, and God doesn't life go on. So I just got 5 notes from that song tattooed on my rib. If you want to see it, you can go to my Instagram. There's a picture of it right after when I got it, but I don't really want to lift my shirt and show you all my nipple right now. Sorry. I'm eating hummus. Like I don't want to. I can't be sexy right now. I don't want to show a part of my body. Jay Hanlon asked, if that's walking down the aisle, what's your first dance song? I would like to dance to Shut Up and Dance With Me, and I would like to drag my mom to the dance floor when I do it. Shut Up and Dance With Me by Walk the Moon is such a great dance song, and I want a very vivid image of dragging my mom onto the dance floor when the song comes on and dancing with her. Oh, I don't even know if I want to get married, but I do want to have a wedding, which is not, it's kind of like counterintuitive. Let's see. John Foster asks, what do you think is the best way to change someone's views? It's really, really tough. Usually you can't. They have to just like come to it on their own. I would say the things that I've found are best are being real sweet, being real aware of the fact that you are also flawed and make mistakes, and like being really kind of self-deprecating and talking about, I think the hardest part of convincing someone is that no one wants to feel I am dumb and you're smarter than me and I got duped and you have to correct me now because I'm an idiot. Brings up a lot of our insecurities about ourselves. So anything you do to make them feel like you understand them and are not smarter than them. I thought the same thing. Here's the thing that changed my mind. I totally get your argument. Treating them with a lot of treating the argument with a lot of credibility and giving them a lot of, using the best version of their argument, and also saying, I really get why you feel the way you do. And here's what we do agree on. That kind of like, you're not dumb. You're not dumb. I am dumb. Here's what helped me. What do you think about this? A lot of like inviting the person in works, which is why my videos, it's why I avoid doing like Carlos Baza destroys Ben Shapiro videos, because I feel like that we would all really like that. It doesn't really persuade anybody. And it's why you can see a lot of, in my videos, there's a lot of like me having doubt and anxiety and insecurity, and Carl or Charles usually voicing those insecurities and doubts, because I have to, if I'm trying to persuade someone, I need to be like, by the way, I get why you're hard to persuade. And so that's like been my approach. Okay, there's still 550 of you in here. This is fucking bonkers to me. Thank you all for being here. I'll do a couple more questions and then I'll bounce. I have such an anxiety that at some point you guys are going to be like, why are we listening to this idiot? And I don't know why, but thanks for being here. Let's see. What countries do you want to visit? I'd like to go back to Spain. Maybe meet a husband there. I don't know. I'm not a big traveler, to be honest. I'd be down to go to Berlin. I'd love to go to Germany and check it out. I would love to go to. Honestly, if we're not doing like out of the country places, I want to go back to Maine. And I would like to chill in Acadia National Park for a while. And I'd like to visit some friends in DC again, who I really miss. But yeah, I'm not a big travel person. Anytime I'm swiping on Tinder and someone's like, love to travel, and all the pictures are like them in other countries, I just go, oh, that'd be fucking exhausting. No, swipe left. I don't want to. We have to go to Belize. I don't want to go to Belize. There. You want to go somewhere super far away that's 4 flights to get there? What if we just sit on the couch and eat takeout instead? Wouldn't that be fun? Like the laziest person to date in the world. Okay, let's see. Y'all being very sweet. The parasocial draw calls to me. Show recommendations. Boy, do I have some show recommendations. I watched some bad TV between the last time we talked and now. I watched all of Warrior Nun. Not a good show, but a great show about warriors nuns who fight and use crossbows. Great show. I watched all of Umbrella Academy and The Magicians. Really hyped up on magical shows. Also, maybe not great shows, but very campy shows that I really liked. Been through all of that. And then Midnight Gospel, really good. The last episode of Midnight Gospel, fuck did I cry. Fuck did I just sit on my bed looking out the window and go, Jesus Christ. What an incredible interaction between a mom and her son. Woof. Okay, let's see. Have you watched Fleabag? Yes, dear God. Fleabag is so funny. But the scene where she says, she calls him a little weaky is so good. Oh, speaking of Fleabag, the opening shot of this video about power, is inspired by the opening of Fleabag season 2. First episode of Fleabag season 2 is one of the best openings I think I've ever seen of a show. Starts with Fleabag in a bathroom, blood on the floor, a waitress bleeding out of her nose. Camera pans up to Fleabag. There's pounding on the door. Camera pans up to Fleabag, who has blood coming out of her face. She's wiping out blood. She just goes, "This is a love story." And then the music immediately starts. And I think that opening is like such an incredible thing of visual storytelling. So in this video, this is a video about power, was heavily inspired by the opening of Fleabag season 2. I'd like totally forgot that happened, but yes, that's exactly where I got that idea from. Let's see. Lovecraft Country. Someone mentioned that last night's episode of Lovecraft Country, which I have not seen the show at all, includes Make Mine Freedom in it. It's about Make Mine Freedom, or it heavily features it, which I did not know and obviously did not plan, but that's pretty fucking cool. So I guess there's a show about Make Mine Freedom now. Let's see. I watched Watchmen. I really liked it. I've not seen Tenet. Let's see. I watch a lot of animated shows. I've not watched any of the Avatar shows, and I feel like I'm really missing out. I haven't watched Adventure Time. I feel like I'm really missing out on a lot of good animated shows. Funny fan interaction and encounter stories. I got a message this past week on Grindr from someone. Who said they were a big fan of mine, which was like very sweet. I looked at the profile. It's all about how they enjoy wearing diapers. Diapers. I was like, thank you for watching, whatever. And then it's an uncomfortable spot when you're talking to someone on a hookup app and they're being nice about your videos. And you're like, thanks. And they go, by the way. And you're like, no, now it's weird. I don't want to do it now. But yeah, I had a weird diaper interaction this week. Not to yuck anybody's yum, but it was like such a weird setting to be saying, thanks for watching. It's like, I know too much about you already. Oh boy. Wish I had not told that story. I already regret it. Let's see. Him stuff. Favorite ship? Oh god, I don't know. I feel like we're running near the end of the question segment, which is okay because it's been an hour and 20 minutes. I hope Diaper Guy's not watching right now. I've not seen Gravity Falls. I've watched Monster Factory with the McElroy brothers. Some of my favorite YouTubers are like weird gamer people, like Video Game Donkey. I like watching weird video game bullshit on the internet. I have this anxiety about revealing how much of a gamer I am because I feel like no one will believe me. And there's such like a defensive hostility from like the gamer community about who is fake and who's real. And it's not really that people know me, so I don't really want to claim it as my thing. But truly, the only thing I care about in the whole world is video games. And all I watch on YouTube is like video game streams and video game reviewers. So I feel like I need to show. I mean, I have a fucking Final Fantasy VII tattoo. These are Suikoden tattoos. Like I'm a gamer, but people don't really believe me. So I just keep that. I keep that part of myself closeted. What color Power Ranger are you? Absolutely blue. I'm a gay nerd who doesn't get that much attention as a teenager. That's blue, baby. Have you watched Left YouTube or Second Thought? I have. I thought their stuff was really good. Let's see. Should we trust Ezra Klein? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think he and I have very different views of the world and engaging in politics. So if he's up your alley, he's up your alley. I will say I think he's a good dude who means well and is very smart. More than I can say for a lot of political writers. Cuban food favorites. Thank you for asking that, Brandon Lopez. I am Cuban, and if I could only one meal for the rest of my life, I would eat black beans with rice and a fried egg on top. Done. Aside from that, my noodles are good. Tostones are good. I mean, anything with avocado is good. Tamales are good. Any carb, any starch, I'll eat. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna take like 3 more questions and then tap out. Thank y'all for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it. I like chilling with you all. I don't know. I've said it before, but it's been like a real rough year in a lot of ways, and stuff like this makes me feel like, yeah, but this is dope. Like life is dope. So thanks for having me here. Okay, let's see. Do you know Spanish? Talked about this before, but I only can fake it really well because I grew up in Miami and all my family speaks Spanish, but I cannot speak it for shit. I should learn. But I tried Duolingo for like 2 months, and all I learned was like 12 different ways to order an apple. Like I understand the basics, I understand the mechanics. Like just teach me big words. Let's see. Oh, I'm also vegetarian, so that limits a lot of my options. Best gay movie, but I'm a cheerleader. I'm getting so overwhelmed by all of these right now. Looking forward to the new Final Fantasy. I don't know. It looks like a single player game. Like you don't have a team, and I don't know if I'm about that. But maybe it'll be different. Have you played Pyre? Yes. Pyre and Bastion, such a fucking great combo of games. I love that style of like narrative, slow, beautiful. I listen to Why We Built the Wall. That's from Hades Town. Build the Wall from Bastion all the time. Yeah, insanely great. Okay, I'll finish on this one. One personality trait you look for in a guy. Great question. Personality trait I look for in a guy is someone who can contain both the tremendous sorrow and grief and pain of being a human and the tremendous joy and silliness and childishness of getting to be a fucking human. Like, if you can walk the line between being miserable, being alive is the fucking worst, and it's full of pain and suffering, and isn't the world dark, and doesn't none of this matter, and isn't the world fucking beautiful and weird, and isn't it magical that we get to be around each other and like learn from each other? If you can do both those things, I find you very attractive. I feel like most adults can do one of two. You have like the New York guy who's like over everything and everything fucking sucks and everything's gross and is like very aware of how cruel the world can be, but is just like over it and has no joy about it anymore. Or you have the other guy who's like happy-go-lucky all the time and is always in a great mood and is always cheery, but has like no capacity for suffering or grief or darkness or sadness. And I get both of those guys. But if I'm with someone, I would like them to be able to truly know pain and suffering and despair and have it not kill their light. Be a kid, be foolish enough to be childlike and mature enough to be sad. You can do both those things. That's a good dude. Takes a lot of work to get there. Very hard to hold both things. Very hard to be in the gray area. Very hard to stay open to both joy and misery, and do it with grace. Any takers? Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. Thanks for joining me on this live stream. I can return this hat to Coleman now because I've had it. Oh yeah, come on, hat hair. I've had this hat in my position for like too long. I'm gonna go dick off and play Teamfight Tactics and not think about this next Greek video. If you want, I'm gonna finish the research document for this video and put it all in the comments or put it in the description for the last video. If you have any ideas for new shirts, please leave them in the comments. I'm gonna read through all this live stream comments later. I think I'm gonna try. And if you like the video, feel free to share it or whatever. I don't know. I always ask people to share it. But thank you for watching it, and thank you all for being good humans and for hanging out with me for an hour and 30 minutes on a Monday night. I take it with a grain of salt because I'm just some person who reads your comments or whatever. But every time I look at the chat, everyone is being like super cool and sweet and chill, and you all seem like the kind of people that I would want to be watching my videos. So thanks for just being fucking cool and weird and like queer and sweet and funny if you're any of those things. I'm glad you all exist. Okay. I'll see you all soon. Bye.